Tonight we're going over terminating and repeating decimals. Let's go ahead and take a crack at it, shall we? We're going to start with number 25. I'm going to do all the odds today since number 24 was revealed to you in the book. Let's see, first we've got a -7 and 1/20. First thing we got to remember is -7 is already a whole number. So when it says write each fraction or mixed number as a decimal, well, remember the mixed number is a whole number with a fraction. We're going to keep the whole number the same because it doesn't change. And now we have to turn this fraction into a decimal. Well, how can I do that? Well, I can remember that 1/20, okay, is found in two different ways. One, we could say that I need to multiply whatever my denominator is by something that's going to turn the bottom number to 100. And if I did that, I would say that 20 times 5 is 100. But whatever I multiply to the bottom, I have to multiply to the top. And that means I'll have 5, because 1 times 5 is 5, and 20 times 5 is 100. So out of 100, we have 5. That means this would be 0.05. And some of you might be saying, why 0.05? Well, whatever the number is on top, I have to remember to move my decimals 2 spaces over. All right? Well, that's number 25, -7.05. And let's go to number 27 now. Number 27 says 5 1/3. Well, once again, we've got a whole number with a fraction. Well, once again, we're going to remove the 5 from any part of this, and we're going to deal with 1/3. And some of you are saying, well, Mr. Mendez, there is no way you're going to take 3 and multiply it to anything to get 100. Oh, you're kind of right. But I did say there was a couple ways to do this. The second way is we could go ahead and remember that every fraction is really a, you got it, division problem. So if I take my handy calculator, and I remember that 1 is divided by 3 in this problem, 1 divided by 3. We're going to get 3 repeating. So in this case, we know that 5 will be joined by 0.3 repeating. All right? And some of you are saying, well, would that have worked with the number 25? Let's find out. Let's see, we're going to clear this. And if we do this time it would be 1 divided by 20. 1 divided by 20. And look what we got, 0.05. So it worked perfectly, didn't it? All right, let's go ahead and go to our next odd number, which is going to be number 29. This time it says write each decimal as a fraction or mixed number in simplest form. We're kind of doing the opposite this time, aren't we? So here we got -0.9. And here's the way we solve this. Let's take number 29. We have to remember that every time we see a decimal, okay, then what we have to do is remember that if it doesn't have a line over it, in other words, it's not repeating, the rule is we're going to put a 1 underneath it, and then however many numbers there are, we're going to put a 0. All right, so 9, there's just one number there, so that's a 1 0. If it had been 99, I would have put 100. So our answer here is going to be -9/10. And that's it. Remember, when we get our answer, we may have to go ahead and reduce, but we'll try that in a different one. Let's try number 31 here. Once again, we know that the number in front is 2 before the decimal, so automatically 2 is going to be left alone. We're dealing with putting it in its simplest form in decimal. Since it's the simplest form and not an improper fraction, we're going to leave 2 there. So now we have 0.66. So this is going to be, as we spoke about before, 66. And then we put a 1 in front. There's no line over here, so put a 1 in front. However many numbers there are, we put a 0 underneath it. So it's 66 over 100. But look, this can be reduced. We can divide both of these by 2. And that's going to give me 33 over 50. Unfortunately, we cannot go ahead and reduce this anymore. So our final answer will be 2 and 33 over 50. All right, let's try number 33. This time it says write each of the following as an improper fraction. Well, we remember from we were in elementary school and intermediate school that we have to take the bottom number, our denominator, multiply it to the number that's in front, the whole number, and add it to our numerator. So if we do this, we're remembering that we're going to take 3 times 7, and then whatever our answer is, we're going to add it to 1. All right, so let's try it. Let me go ahead and get rid of those real quick so they're not a distraction. Well, 3 times 7, that's 21. And 21 plus 1, well, that's 22. All right, so we had 3 times 7. That gave us 21. And then we had 21 plus 1, which equaled 22. So our answer for this is going to be 22 over 3. Remember, our denominator stays in place. So if we were to break this down later, we'd say, well, 22 divided by 3 would give us 7 1/3. All right, let's move on to the next part of our lesson. And we have number 35. It says, Nicholas practices playing the cello for 2 hours and 18 minutes. Write the time Nicholas spent practicing as a decimal. Well, they said it was 2 hours and 18 minutes, right? Two hours and 18 minutes. So now we have to write this as a decimal. And first of all, remember that 2 hours, that 2, it's all by itself. It's not part of an hour, it's 2 hours. But 18 minutes is really 18 over what? Well, you might automatically think 18 over 100, but remember, there's 60 minutes in an hour. So it's really 18 minutes out of the 60 minutes that make up an hour. Now, we can go ahead and reduce this, right? Because we got to figure out what this is going to be. And we need to take 18 and divide it by 60 and see what we get. Let's go ahead and work this one out. 18, and we're going to divide it by 60. Well, we know we're going to have to add a 0 here, which means we put a decimal here. How many times does 60 go into 180? Well, 6 goes into 18 3 times. So I'm going to try that number. And if I do, I see that that equals 180. So our answer is 0.3. All right, so it's 2.3 is the, let's see, in decimal form, 2.3 hours would be our answer. Now, if you're wondering if that works out with the calculator, let's give it a shot. And as a calculator, we say that 18, remember it was 18 divided by 60, divided by 60 is going to equal 0.3. Look at that, got the same answer. All right, that's all that I'm going to do for your homework sheet. Good luck with the rest, and have a good